Now, this is the most bizarre and audacious scam of the decade. The self-proclaimed fraudman and fugitive Nithyananda, who fled India to set up his fantasy nation, United States of Kailasa, is now embroiled in a global land scam that has shocked the entire world. In an absolutely absurd and jaw-dropping development, 3 indigenous tribes from Bolivia's Amazon rainforest, that is Bor, Cayuba and S.A. Aha, they were duped into signing land leases with the non-existent country. Can you believe it, viewers? Now, Nithyananda's so-called United States of Kailasa conned these tribes into signing a 1,000-year lease for 3,900 square kilometers of prime Amazonian land, which is 2.6 times the size of Delhi, 6.5 times the size of Mumbai, 5.3 times the size of Bengaluru, 19 times the size of Kolkata, 9.1 times the size of Chennai, 6 times the size of Hyderabad, 8.4 times the size of Ahmedabad, 11.8 times the size of Pune, 6.2 times the size of Lucknow and 8 times the size of Jaipur. Why are we emphasizing this? We want you to understand the extent of the forgery, the bid to grab land in Bolivia. Now, this means the land that he fraudulently claimed in Bolivia is larger than most major Indian cities combined. Now, the fraudulent deal guarantees Kailasa full autonomy and complete rights to all the resources within the land. And the price tag, imagine, the price tag for this colossal con job, how much do you think it can be? It is 8.96 lakh rupee per year. Now, this is a story that has unfolded and Bolivia has had to fight back. It has crushed this attempt to grab land from the tribes of Bolivia. Nithyananda's Kailasa does not even exist. It's a fictitious nation conjured up by the criminal and the self-styled Godman and the fugitive who's been running away from Indian law for years. Now, the so-called leader of this mythical nation was also in the center of a massive sexual abuse controversy. We've not forgotten that case. When the Bolivian government caught wind of this entire mind-boggling scam, they slammed down with full force. The government in Bolivia, and the Confederation of Indigenous Peoples of Bolivia declared all these so-called contracts null and void. My colleague Imran is joining us. He has the details of the story as it unfolds. It's shocking, it's bizarre, and it's unbelievable, Imran. Can you believe it? A fugitive, a criminal who's running away from Indian laws, who has created a fake nation of his own, is now trying to scam tribes in Bolivia. How did he manage to do this? Take us through all the details that's available with you.
Well, absolutely. We are at times now bringing this exclusive about how the Godman who had built up his empire ashram in Bidadi in Karnataka has now escaped and now trying to build his own, ironically called the United States of Kailasa in Bolivia. Now, this is the country where the Amazon jungle is there, more than 6 to 7 times larger than Mumbai, and where Nithyananda and his team wanted to buy a land for 1,000 years, where they wanted to set up their fictional United States of Kailasa. Now, they had what the local journalists have written about and informed that there was through other dubious means they tried to acquire indigenous people's land. However, when the Council of the Indigenous Communities came to know about it, they immediately petitioned with the Bolivian government saying that since it's an Amazonian land and it belongs to indigenous communities, no independent country can come and claim that land and also buy the property like that. And they were trying to lease out that property for 1,000 years for a paltry sum of 75,000 rupees annually fees for it. And this is what the scam the local journalists had written about and where brought it out, and what they alleged that they were intimidated in bringing out this scam. And after the Indigenous Council came together, the Bolivian government got their action together, and they have 20 people involved in Nithyananda have been deported, and the entire purchase of the land has been cancelled.
Absolutely, because as per Bolivian law, no foreigner can acquire land in the Amazon region. The country's agriculture and land development minister also categorically stated that indigenous people cannot make land deals with a fictitious state. But the very extent or the bid itself is so shocking. Let's listen into the responses that have come in. We'll also play out a video where you can see how those who claim to be part of Nithyananda's cult are in a confrontation with the people of Bolivia. We also have a guest joining us today, Lenin. We will, get you more details of the story, but take a look at the responses.
Con esta persona que ven en pantalla, en la cual a través de bastantes investigaciones a nivel internacional se ha podido determinar que es un delincuente y que es buscado y requerido por la India a nivel internacional. Esta secta ha llegado a nuestro país y ha tratado de vulnerar la buena fe de nuestra población indígena, tratando de engañarlos para poder adquirir el uso y a través de eso el beneficio de las tierras originarias en nuestro Estado plurinacional de Bolivia. La Dirección General de Migración, a través de sus direcciones departamentales, ha intervenido este caso. Iniciamos en el departamento de Santa Cruz de la Sierra, se logró la detención de 17 personas de nacionalidad extranjera, que también pertenecían a este grupo de esta secta denominada Kailasa. De acuerdo al trabajo realizado en ambos departamentos de nuestro país, se ha podido efectivizar la salida obligatoria de las personas pertenecientes a este grupo y que los mismos ya no se encuentran en nuestro territorio nacional. Como les vuelvo a reiterar, ya no se encuentran en territorio nacional y que han realizado su salida por nuestras fronteras aéreas y terrestres en el transcurso del fin de semana.
We understand your concerns.
Nos comprendemos vuestras preocupaciones.
But listen,
Pero escuchen,
we are here for all of you.
estaremos aquí por todos ustedes.
We are not here for anybody else.
No estamos aquí para más nadie.
We do not come here to gain anything
No
from you.
vienes aquí para ganar algo de ustedes.
We have come for all of you.
Vienes por todos ustedes.
We are indigenous people.
Somos personas de paz.
And we have come here to provide our services.
Y vienes aquí para nos beneficiarnos de estos servicios.
Just understand what has happened. 3,900 square kilometers of Amazonian land in Bolivia, land that belongs to indigenous tribes. There was an attempt to grab that land through forgery. Let's also break down the numbers. Thank God Bolivia has clamped down and has crushed that land loot bid. And if that would have gone through, what would have happened? So the lease amount that we were looking at was 8.96 lakh per year for 1,000 years. If you just convert that, and for how much land? For 3,900 square kilometers of Amazonian land, the lease was for 1,000 years. If you just convert that into a monthly cost, what would that come up to? Let's also play that out. It would have come up to about nothing more than 75,000 rupees. Exact amount is 74,667. What would have been the daily cost, the daily lease amount? It would have only come down to 2,400 rupees. Now imagine the kind of scam that was this man was trying to execute while cooling his heels in a fake nation. We have Lenin joining us today. Lenin, you are aware of the way Nithyananda operates. You have been aware of his operations. You know the exact modus operandi, the way he cheats and dupes people. Tell us more about his modus operandi. How do you think he manages to cheat people, convince them that everything he says is true?
Good morning. This cult Godman, fake Godman, Nithyananda, always misrepresentation in the truth and fool the people in India and many states and different locations, the part of India. Now he started internationally in many countries also, even United States of Kailasa, so-called Kailasa, it is claimed by UN office. There are so many forgery documents, they bring it in back in last couple of years. And his cult organization and brainwash cult people, some of the innocent, some of the know that crime. They are supporting internationally. They are doing regular, this is the job. Many countries are fooled, I think.
So, but explain to us, How is it possible that a man who is fled the country, who is a fugitive, who faces so many cases in India, agencies are on his trail, but he now tries to execute a mammoth land loot? He's trying to convince indigenous tribes in Bolivia that the land that belongs to them should be given out on lease. How does this person or his cult, how do they manage to execute frauds of this proportion?
Yeah, it is very ridiculous. India is against him. Is the red corner notice is pending. They are searching for the trial for the criminal proceeding and rape case and several cases, including ED and murder case in one of the ashram died. Many cases pending, but I don't know how they are believing, how the international police looking at. I'm really surprising about that.
No, also Lenin, you have worked with Nithyananda in the past. You are a former aide. Tell us about how you got to know about him. What was your experience? Please talk to us about that as well.
See, he's in India, as per my experience a couple of years before. Whoever came to the donor or so-called devotee or ex-devotee, whoever came, he easily, his property and money, wealth, even including people, they will easily brainwash, they give to the donated organizations directly. This is the model of operating. Same thing they are trying now internationally. I know the last couple of years, many people struggle, even the donors, who are right now the same problem in Bolivia. The country now struggling.
And what do you think? Yes, and Lenin, what do you think agencies should do now? Because here, yes, there are cases against Nithyananda in India. There is a red corner notice, but right now, the story that we are breaking here on Times Now is about how there was an attempt to, dupe people, dupe tribes of Bolivia to take over prime Amazonian land. When a case like this unfolds, what is your expectation from Indian agencies?
I humbly request in Indian government and organization, they should brought it back in India and through the Interpol, whatever way, that bring it the trial courts. Last 15 years is pending. From 2010 till today, the trial proceeding is not started. Even though yesterday the case is coming in the Ramnagar court in Bangalore. Still is absconding. Last 2018 June onwards is absconding. The pending warrant is pending, bail cancelled. So I request the agencies to bring it back, whatever the legal.
There is another aspect about this man. He faces serious charges of sexual exploitation of women. There is evidence against him. There are women who've spoken out in those cases as well. Tell us about what do you know? Because like we've been telling our viewers, you are a former aide. Tell us about that aspect of the case as well.
Right now the trial is pending. I can't speak everything in the public domain. I have the limited voice to talk. So this, I can't detail way right now. I can't explain. I'm so sorry.
Also about this attempt to make somebody a prime minister of a fictitious nation, the entire cult that follows him, those who are close to him are given posts of prime minister, of foreign minister, they go to the UN and they give out representations. It's an embarrassment. What do you know about that?
What I heard through the media, they have claimed the prime minister, and even though my case, they have claimed the United States of Kailasa, the notary public. This case is pending, coming 27th is coming to Chennai court. They claim not republic. Where is the country? How they recognized by any UN, United Nations or any other country, but they bring it back in Chennai court, in particularly in my case. It is a big, another one cheating. It is pending in the Chennai court. They claim the notary public of United States of Kailasa.
Lenin, tell us more about your case. Yes, we want to know about your case because you're also fighting in courts. You're running from pillar to post to ensure that this giant fraud is exposed.
They are filing number of cases again. After my complaint 2010 March, they are filing case against me in the Kolar and Varanasi, even Chennai, in Ramnagar, wherever location they have the devotee. They are filing at least more than 60 cases against me. Still the case is pending, many cases pending. We are fighting in lower court and high court everywhere. Their mode of operating, whoever against them, they are filing first to the case. Legally they are trying to trap or putting the trouble. Not only me and the victim, any other witnesses, everybody, including donors. There are at least more than 100 cases pending. including the main case witness and victim and everybody. Still we are fighting. Still we are fighting.
Lenin, you are a whistleblower. You're fighting for justice, you're fighting for truth. For viewers just joining us on this broadcast, please tell us about the details of your complaint and the kind of intimidation you have had to face because you chose to speak up, you chose to fight back.
Yeah, but the complaint is pending in the trial. Investigation done by Karnataka CID is pending charge sheet and 3 charge sheet done. Many stories behind that. We can't explain everything, but whoever is coming against him with the truth exposed, he immediately threatened the legal cases. That way their mode of operandi, not only many witness. Whoever witness, I can give the entire list. They are facing the cases. Official threat. That is the problem right now. Still we are facing.
Now, Lenin, when you fight a case like this, and you're talking about facing threats, you're talking about facing pressure, are you scared? Does that in any point of time make you feel like, no, you should give up on your case, or do you want to keep fighting till you get justice?
I'll keep fighting. Last 15 years I'm fighting. I never give up. From 2010 till today I'm fighting. I never give up.
Through times now.
Let them wait for the truth.
Through times now, what is the message you want to send out to Indian agencies and the government at this point of time? Because it's a long fight that you've been fighting.
Yes, I wish to the agency should look in forward this, at least right now, he find out where this location. What I heard, he is in the cruise somewhere in the nearby South American countries. Some of the group of people is around with him, at least 10 or 20 people. He is not in any island. What I heard, recently I heard, he ran away from nearby Bolivia. So I think the agency should look in it as soon as possible, bring it back India. The trial should start. That is my prayer.
Okay. What else did you hear? Tell us once again, because we know there's a scam that's unfolding in Bolivia. Bolivia has crushed it. But what do you know right now?
Whatever we heard, that through the media only I heard. I don't direct any contact from the out of country right now in the Bolivia. Whatever read I will find out through my personal contact.
Where do you think he's hiding right now? What are you hearing from people who are fighting this case?
What I heard that some people of, I can't expose those names, but he right now is in the cruise nearby South American countries. Keep on traveling, and he has many passports, what we heard. So this is the information I have.
Lenin, do you suspect somebody is protecting Nithyananda?
I don't think that is ruled out right now.
Okay. Thank you, Lenin, for speaking to us. A former aide of Nithyananda, somebody who's a whistleblower in the case against him, who's fighting against him. He's been waging this battle, as he says, for over 15 years. But let's once again put our focus on the scam that we've unearthed here on Times Now, the details of which have left everyone absolutely shell-shocked. He wanted to grab land that belongs to the indigenous tribes of Bolivia. And if that would have gone through, because they went out with some leases, they got these indigenous tribes to sign those leases. Now the government had to intervene. But if that would have gone through, just imagine the kind of land this man tried to grab. Like we told you earlier, it's 2.6 times the size of Delhi. If the bid was to ensure he gets possession of land which is up to 3,900 square kilometers of Amazonian land. Like we told you, 2.6 times the size of Delhi, 6.5 times the size of Mumbai, 5.3 times the size of Bengaluru, 19 times the size of Kolkata, 9.1 times the size of Chennai, 6 times the size of Hyderabad, 8.4 times the size of Ahmedabad, 11.8 times the size of Pune, and 6.2 times the size of Lucknow, 8 times the size of Jaipur. Imagine major cities of major Indian cities. He was trying to ensure he gets possession of this kind of land.